and welcome. So this is a review of the patch 32.2.2. It's mostly a Battlegrounds patch. There's also a mini set which you can buy now. Hashtag sponsored, not sponsored. Okay, guys. So this is huge. This is huge. So we used to have 50% chance to offer an untyped trinket and 50 chance to add discounted trinket, right? Of untyped trinket. So there's a so-called pivot. So there's no more pivot trinket. Okay, so there's tons of trinkets adjustments. I'm not gonna go through all of them. The trinkets adjustments are based on Blizzard stats, internal stats. So they have the stats, win rate and such. We have HS replay as well. They have probably more detailed stats. So they base the change based on that, right? I'm gonna repeat the word base and you're never gonna listen to me again. So there's a lot of changes, right? I don't think they changed Reflecting Pendant and Cube, the two great neutral trinkets. I did look it up off stream. Like, they changed the Wardroom, for example, which is you get first better cry trigger extra time. It now costs 0. Divine Signet. So the important one is they unnerfed Mech Trinket. So Mech Trinkets were hit severely. So they buffed again the Mech Trinkets because they're nerfing Mech. So there's plenty of change. But you can see like electromagnetic device costs 3 now. There was the other one. The big change is Beetle Band was banned on Onyxia because there was close to infinite loop. The Primordial Terrarium was removed from the pool. I guess it wasn't good enough. And Sulfur Spot was also removed. So that's a good changes, right? This is important. The Blood Golem sticker was awful, but now it triggers 3 times per combat, so it's gonna be a bit better. But I think Quiver's gonna be the worst tribe in the game. I'm not even guys saying anything, but I think this is gonna be like literally the worst tribe in the game because they nerfed a lot of Quilbars, the most important piece as well. So this is a huge. There's a hack and fin portrait. This is like a textual change. I think it's just a cost textual change. And yeah, the hack and fin is also triggered at the end. This is kind of weird. They can just kind of change the text. There are some good changes, like they buffed some Moonlock trinkets because they had to. They buffed the Feral Talisman, so I assume Feral Talisman is back. This trinket was removed from the pool, but I guess they brought it back buffed. 8.5 is probably still garbage there, but like there's no reason to pick Feral Talisman when there is the Beast trinket, right? The one whenever your Beast attack. This is a Beast Undead trinket. There's usually no reason to pick that over other one, and there's not even a cost. Guys, there's not even a cost, so this might be not in the game even. Again, they just changed it for the laws. Okay, so this one is good. This is a Dragon Trinket, Extravagant Scale. It's gonna throw twice per game, and this is actually very relevant. Now you're gonna double your attack and double your attack, so you're both gonna be crazy strong. This trinket is now pickable with Mechs, with Divine Shield base build. This is gonna be a really good trinket. It costs only 2, but doubling twice, it's very powerful. So I kinda like. I mean, this trinket is gonna be really powerful. They also changed Innkeeper's Head, so this is kind of huge one. You discovered 2 tier 6s now and make them 2020. So this I mean, they did nerf tier 6s, so that's why they were able to do that, because Electron was nerfed and Lightspawn as well. But this can be very nice. Oh, Catacomb Crasher, yeah. Catacomb Crasher, it was changed, yeah. They changed like another Quillboard trinket that was crazy good, was changed. So they even nerfed the pipe for the neutral tribes. Hopefully they fix the bug. So currently there is a bug. If you have 2 neutral units, you're gonna be offered Wizard Pipe. Hopefully they fix that bug because it's very annoying. We will test, but hopefully they fix that bug. And they changed the Poet Portrait, which was terrible. You're also gonna get Bronze Steward, and Bronze Steward itself gonna get buffed. So this trinket is gonna be probably really good. This is basically a comp. You get the comp, right? You spend 4 gold, but you get the dragon comp. So if you play dragons, you pick this one, you have a perfect comp already. Probably gonna be playable now. They buffed the Bronze Steward as well. So yeah, as you can see, the Mech Trinkets get buffed because they're nerfing Electron. And they nerfed the Bronze Timepiece. This trinket was like the best of the dragons. If you see any dragons in top 4, they had this trinket, which was kinda cool. So they just nerfed it. China Portrait is back to 3 gold. Those mechs get nerfed. Shaker Portrait costs 6. Electromagnetic Device. I think mech's gonna be still really good. I know what they did to Electron. I think mech's gonna be still really good. Like, hopefully they speed up the fancy spellbook. I reported that I wanted for them to speed it up, because it's the most the slowest. Hopefully they implemented this patch, if not the next one, but this is like the slowest trinket ever. Yeah, there's all-purpose keyboard. So there's no reason to pick Feral Talisman when you can pick the keyboard and get to 50 attack in 2 turns, right? There's no reason to pick the Feral, it just makes no sense. Battering Seeker costs 7 gold now. There's a lot of buffs to Undead, I guess, so Undead gonna be probably maybe playable. Sterger has 5 gold! Come on! And Guiding Candle costs 4. But I think Candle gonna be way worse right now because they nerfed some broken 6 drops. Okay, so now it's gonna go to the hero changes. Not that many changes, honestly. Bran is back to 5 better cries. Because it used to be like 4, then 5, then 4. It's a mismatch, but it's back to 5. And Scenarios is at 12 armor though. I think this is gonna be still too much. Because people get better at the game, so they don't YOLO as much. His stats were on the rise. I think 12 armor is a bit too much. It should be like 10 or 8. So I'm kinda not a fan of this change. And Buttons has only 13 armor at highest ranks. And only 10 at lower ranks. I guess triple greater trinket is just OP. So the important ones, Minions pool change, Low Flier, 3-2 Dragon, Arm of Empire, and Slippery Sliders are out. But they added a lot of units, so the pool gonna be actually more diluted. It's gonna be tiny bit harder to find the pieces you are wanting, but they adding good cards though. They added Drakkisath back, so Bran actually gonna get way better, because they added Powerful Battlecry. Hunter of Gatherers is really good for Menagerie. Adaptive Ancestor is a poison unit, Coast Guard is necessary for Pirates, Kangor's Apprentice. They're also buffing Automaton, so Automaton builds probably gonna be legit now. Strategist is a big one, because you can randomly generate good spellcraft now, and also this helps the Groundbreaker. Handless Forsaken is for Undead. They're moving Anubarak to tier 3 from what I can remember. Thrasher, 1 more poison unit in the game, so a lot of changes. And now we're gonna go to Minions pool changes, so we have some nerfs. So Tauren Spirit Walker was obviously the best unit. You were able to buy on Tavern 4. The most powerful. So what happened this season? They changed how the things FX that doubles your spell works with discovery. It used to be random discovery. So where you are, let's for example, discovering a 6-drop, you will get the copy of the discover spell, but it will cast randomly, so we're not able to pick. But this season they changed how the temporal tampering and cathedral lesser trinket works. So also this Tauren, which doubles. And the problem is that getting more the 6 drops, for example, every turn you can combine it with Elite Starseeker was very, very powerful. So they changed it to only work with Tavern spell, and I think this is the right change. It's still kind of cool in certain neutral comps with like, if you have a good trinket like Pipe, it's still buyable, but it's no longer super broken. And you get 1 more attack. 7-5. It's a buyable unit, but it's nothing amazing anymore. But there's still some valuable spells like Golden Touch, Scope that you want to double, and having this card is never bad, right? You didn't get value, that's fine. You get value, you're happy, and you're gonna sell it later on when you actually have a comp. The worst card in the game. So if you ask me which card is the worst, it's a Seated Borrower. At some point, after a week of the season, I check on HS Replay. And on HS Replay, you can check boards with the specific cards, the one that get top 1. So after a week of playing, there was only 12 games, 12 people at higher MMR, which is like 6,000 plus, 12 people that using HS Replay deck tracker won with this card. 12 people, 12 games out of like 90,000 by then. Imagine how bad this is. This was the worst card probably ever printed. So it is so bad. It is so bad. I mean, you can make it so it's Avenge 1, right? And you can make it to 50-50. And the idea is you're gonna make it as big as possible, and that's it. That's it. And then you run like Herald, and then you buff your whole board. I think now strategy with this probably is close to playable, but there are some better stuff you can probably do based on beetles, right? It's better to buff all your beetles to 500 than your board to 500. So this guy probably gonna be still Hydra combo. Yeah, for the chat. Okay, so the card was actually quite good, was Gentle Stag. This was really good. The problem was beasts are very bad, right? So buffing this card gonna help a bit, because now you have this crappy early game beast board. You have this and Bad Buddy to benefit from it. So yeah, this card itself wasn't that bad. You often will say that's 40-40, 50-50 on board, and there's no progress afterwards. Unless you find the Moth, there's no payoff unit. Maybe that's usually just Moth as a payoff unit, because I don't think the horse is good enough. So now it provides even more tempo and help the algorithm, help the archetype. Maybe my YouTube algorithm gonna be helped as well if I win with Beast. And the other card that was buff was Tiger, which was also terrible. Honestly, it was terrible. Right now it's really good if you can discover it early. Getting +5/+5 to Red Moon Beast is actually kinda good. So yeah, this gonna help. Those changes actually adds up, because there's no reason to buy Beasts. They're kinda bad. So now there is like a bit of payoff you can do. And then obviously you have to find the Moth. Because I don't think build based on this gonna be good enough. Like, I can see this card getting to even 100-100 Avenge. So you get 100-100. You have Golden Herald and Titus. It suddenly have like 600-600 board. And then demons say, hello, my one unit is 2000-2000. Good luck. Because this doesn't work on the token, so... I don't know. By the way, guys, do you know how this cards work with Reborn? Does this card remember on the Reborn, or are you getting the small one again? I think you're getting the small one again, but I don't know. If this works with Reborn, there's a bit more potential actually, but I don't think it does work with Reborn. Also, it's not taunted afterwards, so it's kind of awkward. Yeah, so Ashen Corruptor was moved to tier 5. Honestly, demons were really strong, and Shadow Dancer being here, this guy, you will see this a lot. I think demons might be the best tribe in the upcoming patch. This being tier 5 is not as drastic as one might think. I mean, this will kind of streamline into demons that you have to find this card quite early to really pop off, but Beast on Conjurer and Shadow Dancer are gonna be way better. Getting this card early is just very beneficial, so I think we will see a lot of demons. Because that's the only changes to the demons. There's some minor nerfs to the trinkets, but I think demons who are already like top 4, top 5 tribe, gonna probably push for the top position. So this is a change, and I'm not a fan of this, honestly. Honestly, funny. I don't think there was a need, but since they wanted, this card has to be moved, probably was too good. They had to move something down, so there's a balance in the tier, but Shadow Dancer was already quite a good card. But obviously you need the way to buff the enrichment, but there's some good ways. There's a Naga, the new Naga Spellcraft unit, and there's Conjurer, so you can actually make this stuff quite nice, and getting this early is gonna be more beneficial. But obviously this one is huge. Okay, so the second worst card in the game was Fireforge Evoker. And they actually said, you know what, we're gonna buff it a lot. So now it's +2/+1, which kinda like almost +2/+2, because you get dragons and every tavern spell. So this card is not playable. How many spells you can play per turn? Like 10 to 15, maybe if you have generation to 20. So this, even if you high roll, this is only gonna give like +40, +20. If you have Golden Powered, you can double that. But in the current metagame, doesn't sound as crazy. But what if you have 2 of them? Then what if you have some premium units? There's obviously not that many premium units you want to buff. There's no more warping. There is occasionally tier 7 cleave, but that's like really hard to get. So it's not like there's super broken unit that you can buff and destroy, but now this card I think gonna be playable, which is kinda important because dragons were garbage. Another important change that actually buffing Bran and buffing dragons overall is moving Spirited Whim's Drake. So they already removing Low Flier, which was useless, and they adding this card to tier 4, so there's more of them in the pool. I think you're gonna buy it and invest to get the random dragon. Buff the Bran as well. You can also golden this and play this with Rylag occasionally. So there's like a lot of cute synergy. And the big one is they actually buffing the Greenskipper. So you can run the Greenskipper, you can run Whimsy Drake on Tavern 4. So this is the main reason they moved this to Tavern 4. And the main reason this used to be tier 5 because they added this card. This is a nice synergy. This is a 4 right now, so it's a very good unit. Basically very good unit to almost always buy and buff and run it, because you almost always have a better cry, and the competitive stat line is gonna make this card way more useful. And the big one is Bronze Steward, which I already mentioned. It's now giving 10 attack, which is actually a lot. And it's kind of like a budget Nightbane, because you get also 10 attack as well. So I think this is gonna be really good. So I think this is gonna be quite important. I think dragons, the change of the dragons, I mean, they're gonna be really good. I think dragons gonna be now playable. And the question is, are they top 5 or still bottom 5 tribes? I think between all the pieces and the really, so dragons have really good trinkets. They have steel. The bronze times piece, which costs 6 but was reworked, is really, really good. And if you go to the trinkets, maybe I can check whatever. They removed the training certificate, so there's not infinite Tercegosa. But if I go to the dragon's trinkets, which obviously streamer has prepared. Okay, they don't have good trinkets. They actually removed, guys, they actually removed good trinkets from them. They actually removed good trinkets from them, guys. I checked, there's no more Emerald Dreamcatcher. They removed the most powerful Emerald Dreamcatcher, and they removed the. You cannot get the keychain bigger one. There's a smaller one, but there's no bigger one. The only one is this one, which it's you start off combat with trigger twice. This is quite interesting. And there's also this one. Whenever a friendly dragon attacks, give it Divine Shield, which I don't know how this works if dragons have already Divine Shield, because I never played it. But they actually removed the most broken dragon trinket. So honestly, I don't. This is so silly. They kept the keychain, smaller one. They kept the smaller keychain, but there's no greater keychain because there's no Bramble Witch, so there's no counterplay. But like I don't know, that's kind of silly. They didn't add the bigger one. It doesn't spend it. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so I think Dragon's gonna be probably playable now. I think we're gonna finally win with Dragons for the YouTube. I cannot wait. I really like this change. And this card is kind of busted, right? With Bran, you get 20 attack, and then you get 10 attack during the fight. Like, you play this if you have some Dragons with Divine Shield. Like, how do you stop that unless you have some token-based build? Like, this is gonna be crazy powerful. Okay, so there is a big change for Elementals and Mechs. So the card, Technical Elemental is now tier 2 as a 4/5. This is actually buff to Mechs, because the Scraper, right? We have that's not called the Scraper, it's a Gnome, then the 3/2 Gnome. So there's another Magnet. So right now we have 4/5 Magnet that does nothing, 4/4 Magnet, and there's Lulabot. So the 2/3 Gnome gonna be way better. And they didn't nerf the Gnome, by the way. So there's still nice synergy between Gnome and all the Mech synergy. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And they changed the Lightspawn, but this is not a... So everyone predicted they're gonna do the Pocky treatment at the start of the turn, but no, Blizzard still keep it end of the turn because there's a team of Elementals this season. They just make it like Quillboard. There's Quillboard that swaps every turn, so they use this mechanic. So it starts at HP and then swaps to attack. So this gonna slow down the scaling by like, you know, twofold. But it's probably still playable. It's probably still playable, and it's a tier 5 now because they move Lokholar to tier 6. So now you can obtain this, you can triple this, you're never gonna get super out of control. And this was important because people were starting to play not only end of the 10 Elementals, they were playing like a shop buff Elementals and playing that. So that strategy was nerfed. It's kind of important, and hopefully Elementals are no longer super broken. I predict they are not, because they moved this even to tier 6, but we'll see. They're buffing some the second archetype, the Nomi based one. So this provides +4/+4, so it's amazing to triple into, crazy strong. They're buffing Bump Stomper, which is also now very, very nice to get early. Honestly, you can probably try to consider running this card with like a Parrot Titus type of build and make your shop really big, really fast. Like, you can run this with Rylak maybe even. Like, there's a lot of potential now as +4/+4. And this is +4/+4 twice, which can be buffed by stuff like this. Like Lightspawn. This can be actually game breaking. It's kind of interesting. I mean, more to consider because it's more impactful early. Landlubber is now tier 2. So, dude, Chemvala is like the best hero ever now. They added 2 new Elementals. Like, Chemvala gonna be the best heroes because there's so many Elementals on Tavern. There's so many Elementals on Tavern too. See Chemvala, pick Chemvala. Labber Oil is back. Yeah, you can Labber on Tavern too and play some oils and spells, maybe. There is no more Fungus, and you will need to find Nala, and Nala was nerfed. So Lapper being on tier 2 is probably pretty much for Galakrond. If you play Galakrond and you happen to hero power into Nala, you probably stay on Tavern 2 and you just land Lap. Because there's not that many spells actually. So maybe Lap strategy is back, but you need the demons as well. And then, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we can land Lap on 2. We'll see. Jiv will probably try it. Okay, so the big one is Electron. Okay, so the big one is Electron. It's now a 6/6. Wow. And it's end of the 10, but it's tier 6 still. Okay, so I like this change because the card was too busted. They make it AOT, so there is a team with Drukhari and Mechs. They added the Trinket. But there was not that much use of Drukhari for Mechs. Like, obviously there is a repair bot, but there was not much use. So now that you have to, basically you have to run Electron and Drukhari. This still ramps up your Dr. Boom, right? Because you buy it on Mechs, so you buff like 6 units. So with Drukhari you buff, and so I think there's gonna be still quite good units to get. I don't think it's useless. It doesn't scale. It does scale you Dr. Booms. I mean, obviously this is no longer unlimited scaling, and even with Golden Drukhari and Golden this, you can only play like limited amount of the Mechs, but I think it's still a good card, right? I mean, obviously you were able to play 10, 12, 14 spells. You had 2 of them, so you're playing so many attacks now. But I think this card is still playable. Now, if it's too weak, they can buff it. This is something to work with, right? But I think this card is still something you want to run in your mech comp with Drukhari, and you will see how this goes. Because, like, we can imagine that elementals are getting nerfed, so the stats you need to get to win the lobby not gonna be as crazy as anymore. There's some other adjustments as well, so we'll see how this goes. But there's always a lot of stuff they can do with furthermore. So this is like a starting point. It's probably mediocre now. I don't think it's broken. It's mediocre. Unless you have Drukhari and triple into, but yeah. The change had to be done. And yeah, because obviously there was way. Yeah, it's kind of like a Charlie. And if you find Dr. Boom, it can become better. And if you find Drukhari, it's quite good. Okay, so Ancestral Automaton is +T+2 now, which is probably Monka's. And yeah, go to Murlocs now. I already thought this Kangor's Apprentice pack, so Ancestral Automaton gonna be meta. Like, you wanna, like, there are some heroes, because they are no longer banning Automaton lobbies, they probably will be banned. And you're gonna want to run Automaton and Automaton Trinket. You're gonna see a lot of them, it's gonna be annoying. You can do some, it's gonna get annoying. Like, believe me guys, you're gonna complain about Automaton at least once or twice. Because some people are gonna hit all the pieces, and with Kangor's Apprentice in, it's gonna be quite frustrating to challenge. Can you win a lobby with this? Probably some lobbies you can even win. Am I happy about this? I'm not really, because there's some dumb heroes that can abuse the Automaton. I wouldn't mind personally itself. I don't mind personally itself this strat, but there's some heroes, like 5 heroes, that make this card so obnoxious. So okay, so I never bought this card. The only time I bought this Grimscale Elegist was the preview event, and during the preview event, Murlocs were OP. 3-2, that gives you +1/+1 at the end of the 10, and occasionally you're gonna buff the Murloc in your hand, the 3-3. It's okay. The card I'm actually excited from Murlocs is this one. Show-off in Mystic was awful, but now you're getting +1/+1, and this might mean, wait, what? But you can run now this card, maybe with Merkai. This Merkai can be very similar to Felfire Conjurer, but it's way easier to make this golden. Then you can run the ramping spell type of build. Let's say I already had the game. I had the golden Nightmare Party Guest. I had the Merkai golden. I had this Mystic. I had the Brand Drukhari. And I was actually getting a decent menagerie like setup. So there's a lot of potential to this Mystic being. Also, when you play Menagerie and you cannot find the Felfire Conjurer, you see this in shop, you're gonna cycle this. And if you have good spell generation, this card's gonna fill the role. So I'm very happy that they make it, because like at 1 HP was basically a 2-drop. We used to have the 2-drop, the choose one, right? So this being as +1/+1 is just superior to that. So I'm kinda happy. And Gorming Gomrat, the buffing of the stats is important. They're also changing how the Seafood Stew works. Spoiler alert, it gives you now +1/+1 and then stats, so you're getting +1/+1 extra. And this stat itself is a 4-3, so you're getting a bit of more triangle of stats. I'm kind of happy. And Sefin is back as a tier 5. It's AOT, end of the turn. You gain +4/+4 and a bonus keyword. So we couldn't have a Bubble Gunner. Now we can run Bubble Gunners and Sefin, so your whole board gonna be Taunt, Divine Shield, Wind Fury. This card is probably not as great as one might think, but still probably playable. I mean, the thing, if you look at this card, it's so much worse than Bubble Gunner, right? It's so much worse than Bubble Gunner. I mean, it's fine, but Bubble Gunner gonna be better, because assuming you have the Bran, you have Bubble Gunner, you can play Merkai to fix the Bubble Gunner. So I'm kind of not happy what they did with this, but you have to guys realize that the best change for this card will be to make it choose one, right? To make it choose one, to adapt, so not the Better Cry, so it cannot be abusable, so you can adapt your other Molochs. The problem with the choose one is you have to make a specific art. So they don't have, I don't think personally, they don't have an opportunity in this very short window to task an artist to make the new art and rework, because the choose one cards are very tough to do because you need new art, right? You need the art on the left and right choices. So that's the reason they're not able to do that. Maybe in the mid-season they were able to change this card. I personally don't like it. I think there's a Bubble Gunner in game. What's the point of this? I mean, you're gonna run maybe 2 Bubble Gunners and 2 of this, but I'm not super exciting. It's quite good if you get it early because it's decent tempo. You're getting an 8/8 and works with Drukhari, and you can make it perfect with Drukhari quite fast. But once again, kind of overlapping with already 1-drop. And for that build, you rather have a 1-drop Bubble Gunner, which you can fix with Merkai, and you buff with Hacker Fiend now, because they actually buffed the Hacker Fiend. So the Hacker Fiend is giving now +1/+1 your other Murlocs, but for every keyword is improved. So this is kind of important, because for in your warband, so let's say this gives +3/+3, so now it buffs your whole board, right? So it's not a nerf. Now you buff your whole board. You can buff the Bran, you can buff the Drukhari, you can buff the Merkai. So all you need is like a 1 perfect Bubble Gunner, and this getting to consistent +7/+7, right? So you give +1/+1, and it's improved. There's 6 keywords, so you can ramp it up to +7/+7. And then you can buff your Bran, you can buff your Drakkaris, you can buff your whatever. Only Murlocs? Oh, it's only Murlocs. Okay, this is unplayable. Wait, this is only Murlocs? I didn't notice this, dude. Wait, what? I think that... Bizant? This is kind of bad. Okay, I have no idea what they did. Guys, I have no idea what they did. Reading is not hard, guys, because you can imagine, I've seen this card in different versions, guys, and they actually make some other decisions. That's why I'm shocked. Because Log is only elementals now, reading. I mean, guys, I seen this patch notes, and I seen the proposed changes, guys, and I seen this card a bit different from what you remember. So they make some choices that I was not aware of, and I'm a bit shocked. I don't know, what's the point of this then? I mean, this is a nerf, right? Isn't this a nerf? Like, why is this other Murlocs? If this buff whole board, that would be fine-ish. Can find them. Maybe they are not in your language. And what you can do this here. There's the thing. Okay, let's move on. But I can swear to guys that I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Okay, Curse's Capper was nerfed to being a 3/2 now. Wait, what? This change doesn't make sense. Well, they nerfed the Very Mage. They also nerfing the Trinket. So there was a Trinket of Very Mage Trinket, and you were getting both Sapper and Very Mage. That Trinket no longer offers Sapper, you're only getting Very Mage. So Very Mage is tier 4, and that's how they nerf this card, because the Spellcraft that gives Reborn is now on tier 4, so the turn you buy it, you're not gonna get Reborn, so this slowdowns and everything. This card gonna be still above average, but no longer like the most broken tier 3 we ever seen. Okay, so they moved the Very Mage to tier 4, alongside the Slumber Sorcerer to make space for Darkcrest Strategist. This has to be tier 4, and I think this is the right type, because like the cards that generate itself are usually very strong, but this card generates stuff that doesn't print money, only stats. So basically, it's basically like I Razor Gore, basically a buffer. You can ramp up the count spell, and there's some synergy with Reborn, but you cannot cheat gold with this Shifting Tide, therefore this is not super broken. I mean, getting stats is kinda cheating gold, but it's obviously way worse. Because the spell this is gonna give is worse than like probably 1 gold on average. Alright, Shipwright is now tier 2. They're buffing Starry Eye Explorer to 5-5. Okay, this card is really good, I think. This is gonna be really good and gonna be very useful in almost... Like, this is the card you want to level 3 on 3 and buy, and then you can golden Gamblers, you can golden Gnomes, you can golden the premium 2 drops. So I really like... This card is gonna be really strong. You're gonna see this card a lot. Because 5-5 is one of the best buddies you can buy, and the effect is decent. And they're buffing Gold Grabber as well to the 3-3. They changed the Gold Grabber trinket. You're no longer getting a Golden Grabber. Instead, you're getting a tier 1 Pirate and Gold Grabber. So the trinket Gold Grabber trinket was nerfed. So you're getting the tier 1, which is Golden, and Gold Grabber. I think it costs less now. Golden card as well. Yeah, there's a lot of synergy from this card. But the most important is that Dastardly Drast. And whenever you get a pirate, give your minions +1/+2. Give goldens ones +3/+3. This is a big change because they're nerfing other stuff. And pirates are quite easy because they have really good lesser trinkets to go infinite. If the star aligns and you hit those good trinkets. So pirate's gonna be very strong, I think. Yeah, it's your other minions. This is buff itself. And you get way more stats. I think this is gonna be a very good card. I think pirates, honestly... I think pirates will be able to keep up with almost everything, but demons. I think demons are still better than pirates, but pirates might be like top 5 tribes now. This card is really good, and it's quite easy to get a lot of money. So yeah, I'm happy that they introduce something that pirates like decent scaling for pirates, right? Because they have like a way to get infinite money, and there's nothing to spend the money on, nothing to translate the money into the gold. If you want to see some pirate gameplay, check out my today's YouTube episode, !YouTube, the APM pirate game that I played recently. There we go. Okay, so this was buffed, but it was kind of changed. So the golden version summoned 2/2 Quillbore based, and then you play 2 gems. So this is basically just minor stuff. They're also buffing Dreaming Thornweaver, because it was Garbino at 2/6. It's not bad at 2/8, but it should be like 3/8 maybe. But yeah, they have a way to buff gems. They moved the Bristler to tier 4. Honestly, this is not a nerf event because this is a late game type of card. It's gonna be harder to find it, but you can still ice this. You can still probably find for the late game just enough of them. So this is not even honestly a nerf. That's gonna be impactful. But the big one is this one. Okay, so someone asked me yesterday, we had discussion. What's the plural of Quillbore? And this is an answer, is a Quillbore with no S. Officially, this is a Quillbore is Quillbore. It doesn't make sense because like you add S to boars, but the Quillbore is Quillbore. I don't know. They just make shit up, honestly. So yeah, this is moved to tier 6, and Quillbore's gonna be the worst tribe in the game, guys. Like, I'm not kidding you guys. There's nothing to do with Quillbores, but play a Piper and then find this card on tier 5 and find a Crooner and Titus. There's literally nothing to do with them, and making this Darkcrest Elder to be on tier 5 and play Blood Gems on all your board is just not gonna be impactful enough to justify dedicating yourself to Quillbores. Like, unless you can get this card, it's just gonna be terrible. Updating? Okay, I'll just update as well. Because updating takes time for me, so... I will do that. So, they killed the Quillbores, guys. Rest in peace. Quillbores are killed. I mean, Quillbore's gonna be the worst tribe. You can still able to high roll them and win, right? There's potential, but this kinda kills the Quillbore's consistency. And Quillbores were already on Ages Replay decent, but that's kinda big. Like, this is crazy, guys. Like, it's so harder to get now. You have to level to 6 and try to roll this. It's so harder to make golden. I know the Quillbores were really good, but they also nerfed some trinkets. I don't know, man. And this garbage is still in the game. I mean, I guess this is gonna be playable in Menagerie, but I don't know. This still only plays gems on Quillbores, so it's not like Menagerie. We need a lot of Amalgadons. It's just garbage. They buff Undead. Anubarak is tier 3. I don't know why it was tier 4 and no one else did. They buffed the new Butchering guy, so Avenge 4. It's kinda nice if you get it early, gonna help Undead a bit. They're buffing the third worst card in the game, Noisel of the Many Faces. It's now +1, +2, +1, and on it, and it's all. So this is important. This card is actually now playable with Deadly Striker. If you have Deadly Striker and this card, you're able to buff your board quite a lot now. So this card is probably playable now. This card is probably playable now. I don't think it's very powerful, but it's playable. I want to be surprised if this is gonna be +2/+2, guys. I don't know. There's some potential now because you can also buff during the shop phase. There's potential to this card now because you buff all, and then there go my headphones. So there's some potential to this card. We'll see. It's now playable at least. And the big change is Catacomb Crasher doesn't work with Moth anymore. Give your undead, guys. They killed the Catacomb Crasher. Okay, so I was thinking this is obviously a nerf, but the build you want to run right now is Cadaver Caretaker and Catacomb Crashers. You're not gonna buff a Titus, but that's pretty much it. Because you're also not buffing Parrot. So instead of Herald, you're gonna run Golden Parrot, which is never buffed, always dies, you reborn that. And the stats you're getting are from the golden one. So overall, you're gonna get more stats even though you're not buffing a Titus. And the Parrot not dying gonna be good. So honestly, this card is probably good. I was thinking, if beasts are in, and if there is no beasts, if you go just full undead board, it's still probably quite good. You might think this is useless, but I think this card is gonna be quite good. But they killed the Beetle synergy, so the Moth get way worse. And high rolls with Catacomb Crasher probably gonna also get worse. But I think there's potential because there is a cute synergy between Catacomb Crasher and Kel'Thuzad, right? So you can run Kel'Thuzad, you can make them golden. There's like potential now. I would try this definitely. We'll see. Yeah, exactly. Like the scaling is now relevant, and you can run Kel'Thuzad to multiply the Crasher, and then you can run the horse, and then you run Cadaver Caretakers, and maybe that's just enough. We'll see how this goes. It's kind of interesting. And Arcane Behemoth. Guys, I will tell you a story. I reported this as a bug. I get this card from tier 7 Trinket, the Nut Piggle Fish Rod or whatever it's called. I get this. I played a bit of Nomi Elementals. I sold my Elementals. This was not getting enough stats. I reported this as a bug because I was thinking it's bugged. It wasn't bugged because pre-season, I don't think they posted this in any patch notes. They just nerfed this card because they were scared. So you were getting half the stats. Now it's back to big original, and it's probably good now. And you're gonna see it a lot. But yeah, I don't know what they caliber have. I don't know. That was just so weird. The Natural Blessing was buffed to +3/+3 base stats, which, oh, wait. No, they didn't buff that card, okay. Never mind, guys. Never mind. So they buffed the Blessing, which is relevant for the tier 6 Naga. I was thinking they buffed the tier 6 Naga, that's why I'm looking. But they didn't buff the tier 6 Naga. So they buffed the spell, so tier 6 Naga is a tiny bit better, I guess. And they buffed the Seafood Steel, which I already mentioned. And they improved some bug fixes, which fixes the bug with Floating Watcher causing lag in late game demon composition. Hopefully they fix demon lag. I'll be very surprised. Hey, that's it, guys, and we can play new patch.